What's up, college football fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show. And today I'm joined by a keyboard goat, Kyleb Howell. And before we get into all things Kyleb Howell, and believe me, there's a lot to get into, you guys already know the drill. If you're a fan of college football, G5 football, the transfer portal, any or all of the above, consider hitting that like and subscribe button because that is truly all that we talk about. Kyleb, man, how are you doing, man? I know you've been busy on and off the keyboard, with your workouts and calling out your enemies, but how are things going for you so far this summer?
It's good. We just been working out. We just got done with our morning runs. It was kind of like more of a OTA player led practice thing today. Um, but yeah, I just got back to the house, and we go back. There's since COVID is still kind of a thing that they still have us spread out in three different weight rooms with three different lift groups. So there's really like nine lift groups
Right.
for the summer. Usually it's about 20 per lift group. Well, actually, that math doesn't make sense. Usually about probably like 15, 10, 15. But yeah, so I head back up there here in about 2 hours to get my lift in. But
Oh, wow.
it's going good.
Yeah, it's an all-day event, it sounds like. Well, man, let's just dive right into the the big things first. So you and Matthew McGregor, aka Matthew Brune, you guys were kind of teeing off on each other and had him on the show just a few days ago. And I'm not sure if you're interested or if you heard or not, but his dollar amount is 8 grand to do an exhibition fight, 3 3-minute rounds with you, headgear and everything. What's your amount? What do we got to get? What do we have to line your pockets with to get you in the ring with Matthew Brune?
What's funny is I watched it. I
You
watched it
did.
because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I know, they're about to talk about me.
Oh yeah.
And I heard the 8 grand. I was like, man, I'll do it for free. I don't care.
We got to get you something. Okay, we got to pay you something. At least a Benjamin.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll take whatever. But man, if you put me at Fry Street Tavern, put me in the ring with him. Oh man.
Okay. Okay. So we got. Okay. So the number is everybody who's listening, all 20 of you. No, it's $8,100 is what we got to do to get Bruni and Kyleb in the ring together. That's an exhibition fight. It doesn't go on either one of their records. Okay. So they can still keep their undefeated record. Their O can still stay. And maybe we can get Tavern or Public House to throw 500 or $1,000 into this thing. We're gonna make this happen after this season. We're gonna, I'm committed to it. I'll be the Dana White in this
Oh, for sure,
in this Poirier McGregor.
for sure.
Um,
And since
but
I'll be done playing, nothing will be eligibility. Like I can do whatever I want.
that's right. That's right. And Bruni can do whatever he wants. If he messes you up, you're okay. Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. So, man, how did all that play out? I mean, like, so when I posted that Bruni was coming on, and if anybody had any questions for him or whatever, probably about 80% of the people who DM'd me about questions were about you and Matthew. And it was just like, was that stage? What is that? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, how did all that transpire on your end?
Well, okay, so he did something. He said something in an article about a year ago about Asher Alberding. I think he said that on the last show that he did with you. But it was in my eyes, it was wrong. Like, we didn't have spring ball. He was saying, like, yeah, in spring ball, he was thinking about being a D. And I was like, dang, like, we didn't even have spring ball. It was here. And so I was just like, man, I'm going to troll this guy. So I started trolling him a little bit, and he didn't really, mess with it. And got in trouble from our PR. I didn't get in trouble, but our PR guy texted me. He's like, hey, man, like, you can't really be, clowning people like that on Twitter, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, that's fair enough. And so it was, more of a playful thing. But then his name Jordan Stepp was our PR guy. And Jordan left for a job higher up in Conference USA. And so I think we're kind of in this like period of no like head of PR guy. And
You're a pit bull without a leash right now.
Exactly. And so I listened to his podcast about the linebackers, and he was talking about Tyreek being the starting linebacker. And I was like, Tyreek's not even a linebacker anymore. What are you talking about? And then he was like starting to. I heard him roast Pirtle, and Pirtle was all bent out of shape too. And then he had apparently taking credit for Brammer's success. I don't know. Brammer told me that, and so I was like, "Look, I'm about to clown this guy. Like Jordan's gone. Like gloves.
Jordan's gone.
Yeah,
The gloves are coming off.
Oh yeah." And so I said something about like this is the same guy who thinks Cinco's a linebacker and took credit for Brammer's success. But when I tell you his response threw me back, like I was with one of our quarterbacks named Cole Johnson. Like I started dying laughing because we were waiting. I was like, should I send it? And he's like, dude, just do it. And so I sent it, and 2 minutes later, he goes, oh my gosh. And it was hilarious. It was a great response, and then we started going back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, so from a fan's perspective, obviously I know that you guys as players, you don't like to hear any outside noise, but from a fan's perspective, we're big fans of Brune, of all of his writing. He does a really good job, especially at a North Texas. A lot of bigger schools have guys like him, and we're as fans, we're fortunate to have him do all the writings and whatnot that he does again for North Texas. But I will say, most people would not, in his position, would not engage back with you. That's the North Texas coming out of Matthew Brune, man. That's that North Texas scrappy eagle coming out of. He's like, you know what? Screw the jobs. Like dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, his professionalism went out the window. I was like, he's responding to a player trying to roast him. I was like, I was for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's an animal, man. That's why. Okay, man. That $8,100. Well, I'm going to start a GoFundMe and whatever I got to do, man. We're going to get you guys ringside. That'll be big time in Denton.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's exciting stuff, man. So
the one thing I had a problem with though was his initial response when he said, you're the guy that only plays when there's running backs. Like, okay, I did the math because when he said that, I was like, okay. But then I was like, dude, I played linebacker for 6 games last year. We had 8 games. I started one of them.
Yeah.
I played.
Dude, I remember
one because Katie got hurt the second play, and then I played a couple series here and there. I was like, when I took a step, I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I got some PT last year. Like I know I was the 2 and I was mostly on special teams, but I was like, man, dude, give me a little bit of credit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Have to handle it inside of the ring. That's all. That we'll work it out in the ring. Yeah, man. So a little bit, tell us a little bit about your journey. So you're from Lantana. Did you go to Denton Guyer?
No, I went to Liberty Christian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So my dad is a football coach there. He still coaches there. Coaches football and baseball.
Yeah.
My older brother, he went and played college football at Harding University. And then,
oh yeah, in Arkansas.
Yeah, and then my younger brother plays baseball at Auburn.
Cool.
And so, yeah, I'm a family of athletes, and my dad played college football. And but my journey, I had some offers out of high school, kind of the academies like Air Force, Army, some of the smaller D1s, like I had like Eastern Michigan, UTEP, North Texas. I had a preferred walk-on spot. But after kind of sitting down, none of the places really fit. And so I ended up actually signing with Harding, the D2 school in Arkansas. I was there for a little bit, and it wasn't, my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got an opportunity to go play professional rugby in France for a year right after. I left in the middle of my first semester, and I played from like October. The season from like October through like April or May. And so I spent that time in France. It was a semi-pro rugby Federal 3 for a team called Club Athletic Paragu. So that's what I did. And then I came back. France was great, but I kind of started thinking like, I would never want to raise a family there and kind of do that whole, because if I was there, I was going to have to be there, full time playing rugby, because rugby's pretty big over there. And so I come back, kind of had a little odd job. And then one of my old high school coaches knows Coach Luttrell really well. And he was like, hey, you remember this kid? You had a preferred walk? And he's like, yeah. And so I was able to join there in January of 18 and then just kind of worked my way up. And here we are today, 4 years later.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to have to dive right back into that for a second, because I was going to bring that up, because right before you jumped on, I was watching your little French interview with the rugby people. And Do you speak French? Because they're talking straight French to you, and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, no. So I can understand. So when I was there, I could pretty much understand. I mean, after you're in a different speaking country for 8 or 9 months, I mean, you start to understand it. Just natural. And I was taking language classes too, but I could understand most of what they were saying. But my speaking it is kind of far gone. It's
Mhm.
more like a I could say the small phrases and different things. When I was there, people asked me like, "Oh, do you speak French?" When I was there, I could go to a restaurant, order some food, have a small conversation with the waiter or waitress, and then get a cab back home. But that was about it. I wasn't having full fledged intellectual conversations with nobody in French, but I could understand fairly well. Probably about 50% of what they're saying, 75% on a good day. But yeah, so I'm not a French speaking guy that much, so I wouldn't say I am.
When you and Matthew McGregor do your exhibition match, are you going to come out with a French flag on your back?
Oh, no doubt.
Okay, great,
Oh,
great.
no.
Okay, so we got a French and American. Now it's international.
Yeah,
It's an international war.
as long as he's got the McGregor tat, but it's
Yeah,
Bruni underneath, then I'm for it. I'm all for
absolutely. Okay, so you graduate high school. When did you graduate high school?
it. 16.
Okay, so 16, May 16. Then you go to Harding in Arkansas. And you're there August of 16. And you said you did half a semester there?
I probably did less than half a semester. I was there for fall camp, so like all of August, all of September, and I left in October.
Don't you guys have to dress up there like to go to class and
Yeah, it's pretty strict. There's some really good people there though.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, the
I know
people.
some people that went there.
But yeah, it's pretty strict. I think they may have leaned up on the rules a little bit, but I mean, there's a curfew.
Hmm.
Dress code is kind of loose. I mean, you had to wear pants to class, but you could wear sweatpants technically.
Right, right.
Chapel every day. But the classes were actually pretty hard when I was going there. But yeah, I got that opportunity to go to France. It just wasn't my thing. And also my whole family went there, and so I kind of felt kind of forced to go there a little
Yeah.
bit, and I kind of wanted to blaze my own path. But
Okay, so you're there August till September, October, whatever. Then you jump on a plane and you get to Paris in October. Is that right?
yeah,
Okay, so you get to Paris in October and you do. And how long are you in France for?
so I'm actually 5 hours south of Paris. So
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So, but I actually flew into Paris, and then I don't know if anyone watching has ever heard of Bordeaux, France. It's about an hour and a half east of Bordeaux. But we drove down, and I was there until I came home for Christmas for about a week. But then I went back, and I was there till probably April, maybe March, April, sometime. And so it was a fairly long season. We played probably 15, 16 games. All the games were on Sunday evening, and yeah, it was pretty cool though. So I guess 8 months maybe, give or take.
that
But
is
yeah,
crazy. So then you come back 2017,
yeah.
and then you come and you walk on to the North Texas football program that spring.
No, yeah. So it was the next January of 18.
Okay,
So
January of 18.
in like kind of the spring summer of 17, and then I had a semester where I was actually coaching for a small school, helping out that semester, and then I started in 2018.
Dude, that is insane. And
I've been around the block, man.
dude, you have been around the block. Okay, and are you going into what's classified as your super senior year?
Yeah.
Okay. So real quick, I mean, tell us about a little bit about like the walk-on journey, and you earned a scholarship, right? You're now on scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk us about like the grinds of a walk-on and making it to scholarship, and ultimately, like you had some offers, like you were saying, to these other schools, but essentially, yeah, I mean, you came back and walked on at North Texas. So explain the walk-on stuff and how great it is to finally earn that scholarship, and then also like maybe some kids that are watching this and are considering North Texas. Why should they choose North Texas?
Yeah, and that I've always wanted someone to ask me about like the walk on, like how it is, because some of these kids get caught up in, oh, I got a preferred walk on to so and so, and they think just because a coach is saying, hey, we want you to come walk on, that they're going to be treated. You're not treated the same. I mean, it is a grind. I mean, all the scholarship players are kind of get first dibs on gear, and especially when you first get there. Now, when you kind of make, been there for a little bit, then it gets a little better. But, the scholarship players get first dibs on this. And then, they're talking about their monthly checks, and you're just sitting there kind of like, I had a security job that I did for a couple of years. And it's tough, especially being in the minority, because there's more scholarship players than non-scholarship.
Right.
And so, seeing different guys, being able to get new things, and because, have that extra money every month, it's tough. And, the coaches definitely know that you're a walk-on. And so in the depth chart, even they'll have like a little asterisk by your name that, this guy's a walk-on. And, getting reps is very hard to come by. When you get your reps, you have to make them count. And, any little thing is, you have a lot less leeway when you're a walk-on, because they can just say at any moment, hey, you're gone.
Right.
Scholarship guy, it's a little bit harder to say, they've invested money and time and resources into you. But when you're a walk-on, it's kind of like,
survival of the fittest.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it's where you see a lot of walk-ons today, even preferred walk-ons. They're like, oh yeah, I'm preferred walk-on here. And they're all hyped about it on social media and stuff. I mean, they come here for a year, they don't get any reps, they don't get any respect, and they're like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm transferring. You see a lot of walk-ons either quit or transfer nowadays. And people don't understand, like people only see the walk-on stories that, are successful.
Yep.
They see the Mike Law. They see, the Hunter Renfro from Clemson, or, whoever it is. And they don't see
the thousands others,
the 95% other guys who, are not doing anything, or sitting on the sidelines, or they ended up quitting.
Yeah.
So
are they about to fight the 247 guy?
Oh no, exactly. But it's definitely more of a grind. You have to. Someone told me, they said you have to become to where it's the team is not the same without you, and that's the only way to stay on as a walk-on. And you have to become indispensable. And the coaches have to see your work ethic. They have to see that you're trying and you're getting good grades. And so you really have to be above everyone else, even though you're not, getting paid to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have it any other way, though.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And and as far as like kids considering North Texas, whether they're scholarship or not, I mean, what is, what do you have to say? Like, what have you liked about North Texas? What's kept you around? I mean, it's interesting because you were a walk-on for years, so like something must have kept you in that locker room, because like you said, it would be so easy for you to walk off, for lack of a better term. And but what kept you there and plugged in?
Yeah, I think part of it is I am close to home, and so that's made it a little bit easier. But North Texas, our coaches, like people will go other places, and the coaches will kind of BS them on recruiting and stuff. Our coaches, like, genuinely are good people, and in the industry, I know my dad coached college football for a little, and there's some kind of dirt bags, and
right.
They're just looking for their next job. And I really feel like our coaches are plugged in with each other, plugged in with the team. It's more of a, usually kind of offensive staffs and defensive staffs aren't super, connected or have a relationship. But I mean, our offensive coaches chatted up with the defensive coaches, and people, the cliche is, oh, it's a family, but it really does feel like it after you've been here for a little bit. I mean, whenever you first get here, it's obviously a little awkward because people don't know you, but I mean, it really turns into a family. I mean, I could call any of the coaches, offense or defense, right now and be like, hey, like, I need this really bad right now. And they'd be like, hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's all about, you got to fall in love with the process. And it's hard. Even if you're a scholarship guy, it's hard. I mean, some kids today are complaining about, man, I didn't get reps in the OTAs. I didn't do this and that. I'm like, dude, you've been here for 2 months. Like, you got to take a step back, be patient, and understand that you come into a program, any program, and you're not going to be the guy. No one's ever the guy the first day they walk on.
Right. Right.
And so But it's, I mean, other things. I mean, great location. Our schedule too. Like, I mean, we practice in the mornings, and we're done with football by 12 o'clock, and then you have classes after, and you get time to chill and hang out, take naps. But yeah, most schools you're practicing from 2 p.m. to 6 or 7, and then film after, and then you have to do your homework. And honestly, like, if our schedule was like that, I don't know if I'd be here. Like, our schedule is real nice. You get up in the morning, you get it out of the way,
Yeah.
get your work done. But it really is a family atmosphere, and it's on the come up. And we got that indoor. We got they're going to start doing some stuff to the locker room, I think, pretty soon. And it's a good place to be, and the coaches enjoy being there.
Yeah. Man, speaking on naps a little bit. I mean, I know you can attest to this, and just there's really nothing like after a weightlifting or conditioning or even a practice session and maybe a little class, maybe not some class. I don't know. Maybe you get something in your belly, just taking that nap, man, with just maybe you don't even set an alarm. You just let your nap take you where it wants you, and you wake up and you got to brush your teeth. Your mouth is so dry. It's just talk to me about those naps, man.
Dude, you get those little marks on on your arms because you're sleeping so hard.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, pretty much every day after practice, I'll come home. If I have any homework, I'll do some. But I mean, I'll nap from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every day.
Oh man.
And but it's a good recovery thing.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
And then you go to bed at a decent hour, 10 or 11, and you wake up and you feel. I mean, you got a lot of sleep that day because the practices are tough. I mean, they're it's hot, and we got that indoor, but we kind of go half just to kind of get the element aspect of playing outside. And so, but I mean, it's hot, and you work hard and you run, but yeah, there ain't nothing like a nap, dude. It's different. The naps hit different.
Dude, Kyleb Howell making naps great again. God. I may have to take a nap myself after this. Man, so talk to me a little bit about and as fans, we harp on it. If you look at any of our pages, I mean, we'll literally talk about the same thing day in and day out. We'll debate the same stuff day in and day out. I'll talk about the same stuff day in and day out. It's pretty monotonous, but and I don't know how much you guys pay attention to that or not. But I mean, we do have a pretty tough schedule. Shifting to the football side of things.
Yeah.
Do you guys think about that at all? I mean, as players, I mean, is like the team, mindset like, oh, wow, this is a tough schedule? Or are y'all just kind of like, you know what, like it's Northwestern State, then it's SMU, you know what I mean? Like do y'all look past the first game?
No, I mean, obviously everyone, no matter what school you're at, you look at, all right, here's a game that's not too bad, but we always respect our opponent, no matter if we're playing a peewee football team or the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
We respect everyone because anything can happen in a football game. But I mean, you look at your SMUs, your Missouris, and Liberty, and all these teams that have been pretty talented in the past. But then you look at our team, and we're like we match up. College football, there's a coach told us one time there's about 10 dudes that you've heard of in college football, and that those are the guys who are going to go about the first 10 overall. But then, I mean, you get to like the second round of the draft, and you're like, I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard of this guy. Because a lot of college football players are athletically gifted about the same. And, I mean, a lot of us have the same, 40 times, about the same strength. And so athletically, our whole schedule, we can beat everyone on our schedule athletically. It just depends on how we play, how we prepare. And so we do look past the first game, especially now in the summer when there's really, our first game's not, for another month or two. But once the season starts, we always say take it one game at a time.
Right.
Win or lose, the game's over, and we got to look forward to the next week because the season's long. I mean, it's we got 12 games, and one loss will not define your season at all. I mean, especially if it's a big game, you can't look forward to the hard games. You got to be in the now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but athletically, we match up well. Like I would never BS. Like we got some dudes. We got some big dudes, and it's just about how we prepare. How we focus, and we've been focused all summer, and so I'm excited, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Same here, man. Same here. Very excited to see, how things shake out this season. And speaking on that, like athletically, just shifting things more specifically, just to Conference USA, I'm in the belief that I think we have one of the most talented teams in the conference. Just if you look back at the recruiting rankings, we've been up there amongst the conference. So, yeah, I think just everything just has to mesh the right way. Like you were saying, one game at a time, and how you prepare it and whatnot. Speaking of, I just blanked out, man. You had me going there. I need a nap. Yeah. So these player-led practices, are y'all doing any 7-on-7 yet, or is it just more conditioning and working out? And what are these PLPs looking like?
Yeah, so we do our running, like an actual, like with Coach Womack, runs and conditioning. That's in the mornings, but on Wednesdays, and actually today too, which this is the first time we did a player-led practice on a Thursday. It's more of like, it's literally a player-led practice, and so we'll have some individual, we'll have some one-on-one, some inside, some 7-on-7. We're out there for about 45 minutes to an hour. But it's strictly player-led, and so usually we do that on Wednesdays, which is kind of our off day. But today, Coach Womack wanted us to kind of save our legs for tomorrow. We got a big day, so we just did a player-led practice. But yeah, it's been going good. We've had some leaders emerge, kind of trying to take control, making sure we get our work done. I mean, it's been nothing but laser focus. I mean, sometimes in the past it's been, it's player-led, people can get loose a little bit, but it's been, it's been focused. It's been real, a real good time that we've had in the morning. So
right.
That's why I'm, because we just got done. I'm like, I'm juiced.
Yeah, you're squirrely, man. Like, I need to get what you're on, man. What is y'all's nutritionist fueling y'all up with?
Charles.
Yeah, Charles. Another one from the Europe continent, right? Like, yeah.
We talk about rugby all the time.
I bet.
Yeah, it's funny. But,
brotherhood. So as far as this last season, we had COVID, all of college football, and it was just stadiums, whatever. Would you say that the feeling is a little bit different? Lord willing, that we're going to move forward into a normal year. We're all believing for and hoping for, but is there like a different feeling, amongst the team of just like, wow, we didn't get to do all this stuff last year. Last year, there was a lot of unknowns if we were even going to play, and it's looking like it's going to be a lot more normal than last year. Is there more of an excitement amongst the group, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember last year around this time this is when kind of conferences started to kind of cancel and postpone, and so we would come up here every day not knowing whether we're going to get sent home or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of made it a little bit harder to prepare, because I remember one day we were in like one of the first days of fall camp, or maybe it was the end of July or something, and it was when the Big 12 and the Big 10 had just like canceled their stuff, and we were like, are we next? Like what? Or maybe not the Big 12, maybe the
Pac-10 or something.
Yeah. Some, and we're like, are we next? Like, and so it's really hard to focus during those times when and I mean, coaches will tell you, you got to stay focused during practice, but it's hard to, think about or not think about other conferences not doing anything. And then, we're practicing, but who knows if we're even going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and they've told us, I mean, there's no more postponing. There's no more rescheduling games. Like we're going to play a full 12 game. And if a team has a COVID outbreak, then they've got to forfeit the games until they get all their players back. And so,
all systems go.
Exactly. And so there's no, reschedule, whatever. So I think that also brings another element of focus, because we had a stretch last year. We had like 3 or 4 games in a row that got canceled or rescheduled. And during the week, you'd hear, on Thursday, it's like, oh, they've got 30 COVID cases. I don't know if we're going to play. And then it's hard to focus after you hear that, you know what I'm saying? But this year, I mean, it's all full go, and stadium 100% capacity, tailgating. I can't wait to see y'all tailgate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. Do you ever slide through the tailgates during basketball season?
Oh yeah, with William.
Yeah, man, he's the man. I have yet to come to one of his tailgates. That's on my definitely to-do list for game one. But yeah, man, I hear he throws it down.
Dude, we went to a couple of guys went over to his
Don't,
house.
don't say anything too crazy, man. Okay, but let us know what happened.
Oh
Keep it
yeah,
PG.
never mind.
Yeah, but y'all have a lot of fun there, and I'm glad you guys go. And but yeah, William, man, he seems like a character.
Yeah, he's a funny dude, especially to watch looking at him tweet and
Yeah,
and just he's a guy.
heck yeah, man. That's exciting stuff. Yeah, and I know as fans, we're all excited to tailgate and get our own juices in before pregame and come in and ready to go. And so okay, so we were talking a little bit pre-tape. Dude, you have your real estate license. So you said you got that during COVID, man. So this is your super senior year. Kind of a few questions I'm going to throw your way. One, okay, not saying you won't, but let's say maybe the NFL, the spring league or whatever. That's not your future. Would you consider continuing your football career in an arena league, overseas leagues, or not so much? Is the first part of that question. And B, what is your life after football, whether it's after this year or after maybe you attempt things after this year? What is it that you want to do, man? Because you're intentional, but you obviously have a plan. Nobody just gets their real estate license on too much of a whim in college while being a college athlete, while being a walk-on. Dude, what are you trying to do, man? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, so my best friend, he played here. His name's Will Masters. Played here. I think he graduated 2 years ago. He was kind of like me, kind of a special teams guy, but he got his real estate license and he works at a commercial brokers in Dallas. And we were hanging out during COVID one day, or I was over at his house because I kind of got locked in there for a little bit. And we were hanging out at his pool, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you get your real estate license? I think you'd be good." And I was like, "All right." I got nothing else to do because it was shortly after they said, everything's closed for like 3 months or something like that. And I was like, "What am I going to do for 3 months?" And so I bought the real estate courses and started taking them and took my test and got it in July of 20 it'd be 2020, I guess. And technically I'm supposed to sign with a brokerage and all that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
But,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'll joke if the NFL doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would love to go into real estate. The firm that he works at has told me that I could have a job there after if I want it. But part of me loves football, and I coached a high school team after I got back from France.
After your stint in Paris,
Yeah,
south of Paris.
Yeah, south of Paris. And I loved it. And my dad's a football coach. And so part of me wants to possibly be a GA or quality control somewhere and try to work my way up in the ranks. But I don't know. I don't know what the plan's going to be. Things change. Opportunities open up, opportunities close. And so I'll probably know for sure about November, December, what I want to do. But yeah, it'll be either real estate or coaching. And who knows?
Maybe you go back to Paris.
Yeah, and people have asked me that too. And I was actually on the pod. I was on a French podcast about a week ago, and my old head coach was on it, and we were talking after, and he was like, have you ever thought about coming back? And I was like, coach, who knows, And so that's not an eligibility thing. If people are listening, like always, no, my coach is a friend. He's a friend. So. Yeah, but he was wondering. I was like, I don't know. Maybe one day. We'll see, though.
Man, man, you got options, man, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next Quinn Shambar, which we all love. We all love us some Quinning, man. He's a fan favorite, and I can tell you're climbing up those ranks too in the fans' world. That's exciting stuff, man. That is super exciting. Well, okay, so let's talk a little bit about this name, image, and likeness. I saw Upton Stout. He's got a YouTube thing he started, which I think is great. Is there anybody else who's trying to not so much endorsement stuff necessarily? Maybe that's shaking out, maybe it's not. Obviously we'll save that for another time. But as far as are you seeing anybody, you don't have to name them, but you can name them if you want, but that's trying to like kind of, all right, let me do a YouTube channel. Let me start doing some stuff on my social media to try to, make some bread or whatever. Is anybody doing that? And do you have any plans to do that, man? What do we got to do to get you to start a YouTube channel?
Oh man, who knows? I've heard some guys talk about making a podcast, making a clothing line, T-shirts. There's definitely talk about in the locker room. Different guys want to do different things, and right now it's so new, and it's so no one really knows really the ins and outs and the rules, and even our compliance department is still kind of learning the rules and learning the ins and outs. A lot of guys are trying to wait and make sure because no one wants to do something
Right.
and then their eligibility is in jeopardy, and then they're like, well, we literally didn't know because this thing's been out for a month, and so people are getting approached by places, and I know I'm sure Sarah Fuller goes here, and she's probably had a bunch of endorsement stuff happen, but we had a talk to our compliance people, and they said that there's people from other sports who are starting to do endorsement deals and with local companies and different brands, and it's exciting though, and I think it's a good thing for college football. I don't know about obviously there's that Alabama quarterback that they said he was making 7 figures. Like, I think that may be a little excessive. I think maybe one day they might need to put a cap on it.
Yeah.
But it's a step in the right direction of college athletes not feeling like their hands are tied with everything they do. But yeah, there's guys that have been working on things, and I was approached by a couple little small local companies. But yeah, you just got to get that all worked out and learn. Just so you don't screw yourself over.
Exactly. Yeah, man, that's exciting stuff. And I think a lot of people that are maybe against it, I think there may be a misunderstanding of, oh, the university is paying them money on top of their scholarship, which that's just not the case. It's the free market is, hey, we want to try to elevate our business by having Kyleb Howell market for us, and that's, if they see value in that, they should be able to do that from their own standpoint, not to mention your own. But yeah, man, it's truly an exciting time.
Yeah, I need to by UFC at this point. Like me and Bruni both.
UFC, yes, dude. You know what? I'm gonna call Dana. I'm gonna say that we got a guy you need to sponsor. And he's gonna do his first exhibition fight with Matthew Brune. We just need $8,100. That's all we need.
Pocket change.
This pocket change. That's right. That's pocket change with all this NIL money that's flowing through, and a realtor like yourself. But yeah, man. So very, very exciting stuff, man. You watch the Pat McAfee show ever?
I do occasionally. I'll see like clips of him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I don't like watch every one really.
Yeah. I don't think anybody does that with anything.
Yeah.
But man, you really, man, I gotta have you back on. I really enjoyed having you. Well spoken. And dude, consider starting your own, man. I think you guys would do really well, like a little around the table sports talk with some of the North Texas brethren. But yeah,
we might. Who knows? Who knows what's in the future? So some guys have talked about it and doing a little North Texas thing, but well, stay tuned.
That's right. Because we got some guys. I know we do. We got some guys who think outside of the box, getting a real estate license when we're all locked in. But all right, Kyleb, once again, thank you so much. Good luck on the preparation for the upcoming season, and good luck on the season.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me on. It's been fun.
Absolutely.